Hello, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Safe and Vault Store podcast. I'm Scott High. I'm here today with Dominic Schwebs and Erik Weispfenning. Erik Weispfenning is the Bedrock Logistics Operation Manager, and we're here today to talk to you about what's going to happen when you order a safe from us. Everything including delivery to shipping. Dominic Schwebs is the website administrator for SafeandVaultStore.com. How much years of experience do you have, Dominic?
I've been working for the company for 12 years now, and I started with the company actually with the parent company, and I was working in the shipping and receiving department and shipping equipment out and receiving equipment. And then I moved to Safe and Vault Store and became the website administrator. So I have a lot of experience in shipping and receiving type things.
And Erik, please give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Well, I've been with Transportation Logistics Management and now Bedrock Logistics for about 8 years now, and have been handling the Allied account since they joined us, 5 or 6 years ago, and as well as handling multiple other accounts and other shipping duties, and kind of became an expert just doing what I do.
Would you say that you've encountered a wide array of shipping problems and shipping examples, I guess you could say, throughout your years of experience?
Absolutely. If it's happened, I've probably dealt with it.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Dominic, why don't you tell us what happens, or what does Safe and Vault Store's role play when you order your safe?
Well, when you order your safe, we send the order over to a manufacturer who ships the safe out, and there's a couple different shipping methods. One is a UPS, which is anything less than 120 pounds, and anything above 120 pounds we ship by what's called LTL, which is the large 18-wheeler trucks you see. And so those are the two kind of shipping options. And then when your safe arrives, if it's UPS or it could be FedEx, they will just place your package kind of on your doorstep, or if you're home, you'll sign for it, and then you can take the package in your house. It works a little bit different with heavier packages. And so when your safe arrives, basically what they do is they call you to schedule an appointment, and you make an appointment with them. It's usually a 4 to 8 hour window, and then they will show up at your house, and there's a couple different delivery options that we'll get into later, but basically they'll just deliver it either outside in the street or in your garage, or sometimes even in your house.
This question is for Erik. Say I'm a customer and I've ordered a safe and I've already gone through that process. Is your company in charge of delivering my safe?
No, that would be typically YRC or USF right-of-way. And usually they will send out, it depends on the delivery route, the area they're delivering to, but it's usually one driver and one truck. Sometimes it is YRC or USF, and on occasion they use what they call a cartage agent, which is an additional small regional carrier that helps them with the amount of deliveries they have to make, usually used for residential deliveries, especially if it's in a remote area, or an interline carrier. For example, there are times when you ship on USF, but it's actually delivered by YRC, or vice versa, depending on the area it's going to.
Say if I have a problem with my shipment, Erik, would your company be the company I contact?
Not necessarily. The first contact you need to make if you have a problem is with Safe and Vault. And usually they'll try to solve the problem first, and if they need my assistance, they let me know and I'll deal with it. Typically, one of the first things you need to do when you get your call from the carrier saying they want to schedule your delivery appointment is make sure that they have the safe actually on premises. What we're running into at times is these terminals are trying to preset delivery appointments with an expectation of when the safe is going to be at the terminal. This is so that they can try and avoid the clutter of a lot of freight on their docks. The problem is that if the safe is delayed for any reason, or if the freight is delayed for any reason, they're not always very good about calling to tell you, oh, by the way, the safe didn't get here when we expected it to, so we need to reschedule the appointment. So typically, you may have set an appointment and you're sitting there waiting for the safe to arrive, and you wait all day and you wait all day and nothing happens. So the first thing you do is call Safe and Vault angry and say, they never showed, and that may be the problem. So the first question I would ask when they call is, do you actually have the safe or is it en route? And then you have the option of telling, well, I'd rather have you call me when you actually have it, which will avoid any of those kinds of issues.
So it is imperative that I be physically at my address when the safe is being delivered, correct?
Correct. Either you or someone you trust. And if you leave it to someone else to sign for your safe, make sure they know that they need to take a look at it and notate any problems or damages with it. There are times when we've had, Dominic can tell you that some customers have said, oh, well, I'm going to, let someone else actually sign for it, whoever's at the house, and they don't know this. They're not the ones that received the email or aware of needing to notate the damage, and they just sign for it, and then the person that actually ordered it shows up back at home, they see a problem, and then they call Safe and Vault and say, hey, this was, damaged, which if it's not noted on the delivery receipt, there's a big problem in trying to get the carrier to own up to the damages. So, because they're going to say it was signed for as clear. So it's imperative that if you let someone else sign for it, that they understand that they need to check it.
And this goes for if, say, I receive the package and the outside of the package looks in pristine condition, but when I open it, the safe is damaged. Will I be able to tell right away that the safe is damaged due to the packaging being damaged, or is it kind of a case-by-case basis?
Typically, yeah, you'll be able to see something wrong with the packaging or some sort of indentation. So it's important to make note of anything that you think might be a problem. On the flip side of that, if there isn't anything obvious and you try to notate on the delivery sheet that there is damage, the driver's probably going to say, I don't see anything, so I don't agree with that. And if you do run into any issues with the delivery, whether that the damage is the issue or any other problems, there is always the option of refusing the delivery, which forces the driver to bring it back to the terminal, and then they ask us for a disposition. Say, hey, this guy refused it, and then we can try and solve the problem before any other problems occur.
If I refuse the delivery, am I responsible for the costs getting the safe back to the manufacturer or back to the freight representative?
Only if there is no carrier responsibility. For example, if the safe shows up and you see damage and the driver doesn't agree and you refuse it, you're refusing it for damage. Or they didn't show up, or they just show up without scheduling an appointment. You can refuse it because if an appointment is requested and they don't call for an appointment and they show up and you're not ready for it, that's on the carrier. The only time that you'll be responsible for any returns back to the terminal is if, for example, they set an appointment for, say, noon to 4, and the driver shows up at 3:59 and you're not there, then a redelivery charge could be assessed.
Dominic, this question is for you. What type of shipping options does Safe and Vault Store offer?
Well, we have, like I said, we ship UPS, which is UPS ground. And then we have for over 120 pounds, we ship via it's the LTL, the big truck. And basically that is what we call curbside delivery, which means out in the street or in front of your driveway. And they'll lower the safe down to ground level, and then you're responsible for either putting it in your garage or in your house. And that's included. We have free shipping on all our products, and so the shipping is, there's no charge to you. If you want additional services such as garage delivery, we do offer that service, and basically what that'll do is take the safe from the street and push it into your garage as long as the driveway is level and it's paved. There has to be an overhead door, and level means no steep slope, It's pretty easy for the driver to push a heavy safe into the garage, and like I said, an overhead door and a clear path into the garage. And then we also offer what's called white glove delivery service, which is that'll bring your safe inside your house. They'll move it up or down any stairs, up to 20 steps. They'll remove all the debris and packaging, and they'll place it at its final resting spot. And the only thing that it doesn't include is bolting the safe down. So they'll place it where you want it, but they won't bolt the safe down. And that's for safes that are up to 800 pounds. We can bring it into the house for you. When we get over 800 pounds, then what we do is we recommend some companies in your area who can bring the safe inside, and they can even bolt the safe down for you, but you would work directly with them. These are all licensed, bonded, and insured companies.
Say I order something that weighs over 2,000 pounds. Will you guys deliver it to my house?
We can, but there's going to be some restrictions because the trucks, all the trucks out there have what's called a lift gate, and the lift gate can lower the safe down to the ground level. And the maximum capacity that usually a lift gate has is about 2,000 pounds maximum. So anything above 2,000 pounds, we've got to have some other way to get it off the truck, whether you have a forklift at your house or whether you hire a safe moving company to receive the safe that has a loading dock or forklift at their location. They can load it into their truck, bring it to your house and unload it, or you pick it up yourself at the terminal and you bring the safe to your house yourself. So we can deliver safes up over 2,000 pounds, but logistically it's just a little bit different than a lighter weight safe.
So if my driveway has a hill, will you guys still put it in my garage, or is that depending on how big the hill is or how long?
Well, if generally a driveway is going to have some sort of slope to it, whether it's 1 or 2% slope, and that's a standard driveway for rain runoff. So typically, one driver, depending on the weight of the safe, probably can push the safe into the garage. He might even ask for help to do that. When you get a really steep slope, then the driver won't be able to push the safe up that, especially when we get to the heavier safes like 1,800 to 2,000 pounds, and that would be either curbside delivery or we would have to do the inside delivery.
Sometimes I see on your website where it says a ship date. It says usually ships in 5 to 10 business days, for example. Does that mean I'll get it in 10 business days?
No, and that's why we say ships in. It's the time that it takes for the manufacturer to put the safe on a pallet and package it and make sure it's packaged correctly. And then they have a lot of safes that they're packaging. So when it says 3 to 5 days or 7 to 10 days, that's how long it takes the company to get it ready to go. So that's the time it's going to be before it leaves the factory or the warehouse. And then there's additional time on that depending on how close or far you are to the warehouse. Sometimes it could be 1 day, sometimes it can be up to 7 days. So it depends, and if you have any questions, you can always call and ask us, and we can kind of ask where you're located and tell you, okay, you're in California and this is shipping out of California. So it's probably 1 or 2 day turnaround time to get to you once it actually ships out.
Okay. Switching gears, going back to the freight logistics and damages. Erik, say I've done everything correctly that I've been asked to do regarding notating damage, and my safe is damaged and I've done everything right. Would I still file an insurance claim with my personal insurance company?
Well, not for the safe. Basically, let's say you received the safe but notated damage and you've kept the safe on your property. That's at that point you'll work out with Safe and Vault whether or not they'll send a repair kit, whether or not it needs to be replaced or any of that, and then Safe and VaultStore will file a claim with the carrier for whatever it needs, whether repair or replacement. And then if it's just sending a paint kit, Safe and Vault will send a paint kit or have the shipper send a paint kit. If there's damage to your property, which is highly unlikely with say, a standard garage delivery. Then you just need to contact SafeandVaultStore, and they'll help you try and figure out how you need to deal with that, and they will help file a claim if needed. If there's damage with the white glove delivery agents, which are typically moving companies or specialty delivery agents, typically we suggest that if you see something, if somehow they scratch your wall, your floor, your stairs, or something like that, the first thing you need to do again is to notify the SafeandVaultStore, but it's best to actually make arrangements with the agent themselves. Typically, they are very good at, understanding, okay, yeah, we can, help you fix that, which avoids having to file a claim. But as long as Safe and Vault knows about it, and then we can deal with it at that point. If you have property damage and you can't get the agent or satisfaction, then Safe and Vault can help you escalate that if needed.
Well, I believe that's all the questions I have for you guys. I want to thank you gentlemen both. You guys have been great.
Thank you, Scott.
As always, if you need more information, please check us out at www.safeandvaultstore.com. We will be doing more in the future, and we'll be posting them to all of our social media accounts. You can also check us out on Facebook, Google+, and YouTube.